Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be going over how to defeat Shadow Mewtwo, because there is this dilemma where you can't invite people with remote raids. So let's see what we have going on here. Can you solo it? That is the question that we want to know. If you've got the power, you got a lot of things powered up, you're level 36 and above, you can use your XL candies. What can you do? What are we working with here? And what counters do you want to use going up against it? Well, we're going to go over all of that. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you need to turn notifications on, and let's get into this. Now, before we talk about the counters, I remember EX raids way back in the day. We had minimal Pokemon. The Gengar was what you wanted to use back in the day before we had Megas and all kinds of super powerful legendaries, and we were able to do it several different times. Now, as far as soloing it, you can there's been a few people that were able to do it, but you need the top counters. It's going to be a lot easier now that we have Megas for sure, but you're going to need the top counters, and you're going to also need foggy weather, because you need a boost on on Ghost and Dark. So yeah, good luck on getting foggy weather during this short time period. If you live in a region where it's foggy all the time in game, well then you're in luck. If you got powerful Pokemon, you just might be able to do it. But there's a little bit of a caveat before we do get into the counters here, and that is going to be the fact that these Shadow Raids are going to be increasing in attack and defense as you do take them down, making them that much more difficult. And like I said in my last video, I do believe that this is some sort of a deterrent to make it so we can't solo them. I mean, you can say that, or you could say, oh, it's just a fun feature, you know, it's Shadow Raids, you know, they're switching it up, they're changing it up, they're making it more difficult. And I would probably go more towards that route, but since they did implement this, you're probably not going to be able to, unless there is this, because there are those Shadow Shards, right? You collect 4 Shadow Shards, you can make them into a Purified Shard, which is going to help reduce the attack and defense from these Shadow Raids. So, you know, the event's going to start before Mewtwo is here. So if you do collect enough of those and you're able to put together enough Purified Shards, you might just be able to take it out by yourself. So we do have that going. I don't know if it's going to reduce the attack from its base attack, or if it's just going to make sure its base attack and defense stay the same when it does increase after you do use your Purified Crystal or Shard or whatever you want to call it. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. I know people had questions, and technically that kind of cleared up a lot. So the only thing it doesn't really clear up is base attack or raised attack is it going to be dropping, okay? So as far as soloing it, if you are allowed to use these and reduce its attack completely beyond its base attack, or even just kind of mitigate the damage that it's going to be doing when it does raise its attack, then you should maybe. There's a shred of hope that you might be able to solo it if you do have foggy weather. But for the rest of us, and back to reality, the fact is you're probably just going to have to do it with 2 people, and that's the way it's going to be. So let's go ahead and get into it. What Pokemon do you want to use, at least top counters, according to Pokebattler? There's a lot of great resources out here, but I've always found Pokebattler to be one of the best and extremely accurate and user-friendly as well. So I'll go ahead and put up some of the images here of the Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is at base 40, alright? We're not looking at level 50 Pokemon. It's all going to stay the same order, same moves. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to take less Pokemon, and of course, obviously, you're going to be able to do it faster if you do have level 50 Pokemon. So starting it off, we do have Mega Gengar with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. And that is going to take 32 of them. It's got a great time to win above everybody else at 419 seconds, almost at 420, off by 5 milliseconds. Okay. And then we do have Mega Bayonet with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. It's going to take 28 of those, as it's not going to be as squishy as Mega Gengar. And it's got a time to win of 436. And then we have Mega Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, which is going to take 22 of them. A lot less than Bayonet and Gengar, and it's got a time to win of almost 500 seconds at 492. And these are all pretty solid, but realistically, you probably want to go in there with somebody with a Gengar and a Bayonet. Okay, just, you know, you get the boost off each other, and it's just going to be doing that much more damage compared to these other ones. And then next up we do have Shadow Mewtwo itself up against itself with Psycho Cut and then Legacy Shadow Ball. So you'll need that Legacy Shadow Ball. And then up next we do have Hydreigon with Bite and Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing is going to be a Community Day move that you're going to want to have if you're going to maximize the damage here. It has got a time to win at 510 seconds with 22 of those. And then we have Shadow Tyranitar with Bite and Crunch. Time to win 510 seconds, 22 of those. Should I go say the number of them? Okay, sure, we'll just go ahead and do that. Up next we do have Absol, Mega Absol. Finally, he's got some use here. Still a little bit behind from his counterparts here, but it's actually got a better time to win than the last two Pokemon. Actually, yeah, it's almost got a time of Mewtwo, and it's going to take 5 more. So Mega Absol is Snarl and Dark Pulse, and it's going to take 30 of those with a time to win of 493 seconds. Mega Giratina, what reality am I in right now? Okay, Giratina Origin, Shadow Ball, well, I guess Shadow Ball can work, but let me say this again. Let me get this right. Giratina Origin, Shadow Claw, and Shadow Force. Shadow Force is going to be a legacy. If you do not have that, Shadow Ball will work fine, but it's not on the list with Shadow Ball, but I think that'll still be okay. Up next, we do have Mega Gyarados with Bite and Crunch. It's going to take 18 of those. Oh, by the way, Giratina is going to take 18. Time to win, 528. All right, back to Mega Gyarados. It's going to use Bite and Crunch. Time to win is going to be 529. It's going to take 18. And then we have Goldingo with Hex and Shadow Ball. 22 of those. Time to win, 527 seconds. Then we have Mega Alakazam with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. It's going to take 27 of those. Time to win, 518 seconds. Got that voice crackle going on there. And then we have Chandelure, Hex, and Shadow Ball with a time to win of 518 seconds. It's going to take 27 of those. Shadow Weavile, Snarl, and Foul Play. It's going to take 32. Time to win, 511 seconds. I'm going to stop saying the time to win. All right, Darkrai, Snarl, and Dark Pulse. It's going to actually just go ahead and keep it. 27 of those. Time to win, 513. Regular Shadow Houndoom. Can't Mega it. It's going to take, Snarl and Foul Play, 30 of those. Time to win, 528. And then we're kind of teetering down here. We have Mega Gardevoir with, it says Charge Beam, and then Shadow Ball. Charge Beam's charging it faster. I get it. Okay, whatever. Mega Gardevoir with Charge Beam and Shadow Ball. Time to win, 554. Mega Ampharos, Charge Beam, and Brutal Swing. That's pretty intense, seeing that it doesn't even get stabbed from it. Time to win, 550. So you can tell this is really teetering down here. Hoopa with Astonish and Shadow Ball. And that's going to take 549 seconds to win. At 19, we have Mega Caesar with Fury Cutter and X Scissor. When it's going to take 553 seconds to win with 24 of those. Hoopa Unbound, Astonished, and Dark Pulse is going to take 24 of those. Time to win, 553. Then we have Yveltal with Snarl and Dark Pulse. 23 of those. Time to win, 557. Really starting to teeter down here. Then we have Lunala with Air Slash and Shadow Ball. Mewtwo regular with Psycho Cut and Shadow Ball. Zarude, Bite, Dark Pulse, and the time to win is just going up to 400 or 600 seconds now, so really teetering down. But they're still viable Pokemon, that's why I'm going over them. Shadow Pinsir, Fury Cutter, and X Scissor. Weavile, Snarl, and Foul Play. Now it's just reaching for the damage, right? Primal Kyogre, Waterfall, and Origin Pulse. It's just giving you the sheer power of these Megas, or whatever you want to call them, right? Giratina Giratina Altered, Shadow Claw, and Shadow Force. Primal Groudon, Mudshot, and Precipice Blades, of course. And then finally, 30 is going to be Shadow Raikou with Thundershock and Shadow Ball. So there you go. And again, if we went over those with level 50 Pokemon, it would be the same order, the same moves. It would just be faster and less Pokemon to win. Okay? So there you have it, folks. Now, let me just give you an idea of a team. Like, what would you want? Like, what am I going to use? What am I going to use with my team? Well, I'm going to go in there with, let's see, time to win for Bayonet versus Gengar. Gengar's got a lot more, so I'll probably go in there leading with Gengar. And then I do have a Shadow Mewtwo. I don't remember if it has Shadow Ball. I think it does. As far as Hydreigon, I do have one of those powered up. I don't think it's level 50 though. Do not have a powered up Shadow Tyranitar. Moving down the list, it looks like I'm going to be using Giratina with my Shadow Balls. Don't have a Goldingo powered up. It looks like the next on the list for me is going to be Chandelure because you can't multiple Mega, right? And yeah, I don't have multiple Shadow Mewtwo's. So far on my list going up against this, I'm going to have Mega Gengar, Shadow Mewtwo if I have Shadow Ball on it. I think I do. It's not even level 50. I don't want to power up to 50 yet. I might power up my Hydreigon for this. We have 4 people, so I think we'll be okay, so I don't really need to. But let's just say, so we got Gengar, Shadow Mewtwo. We'll put Hydreigon in there since it's 100%, level 40, I'll power it up maybe. Giratina, and then I think I just might put another Giratina. They don't have Shadow Force, I'm just going to be going with Shadow Ball. So far we're at 5, and we got a Darkrai here, got a Chandelure, but the time to win for the Giratina Origin is so much better, so I think I'm just going to throw the rest Giratinas on that team there. That's pretty much my team. See, I don't need to come up with the best team possible or power up or waste Stardust right now because we are going to be rolling with about 4 people. So yeah, it's looking pretty interesting here. So there you have it. That's the counters that you're going to want to use going up against Mewtwo. We've already been over all of the flaws that this event is going to have and how they're literally, they said to actually get your Master Ball, we went over this in the last video, you need to go out there and Shadow Raid. It doesn't say you need to go up against Mewtwo, I highly doubt that. And it didn't specify on how many Shadow Raids we need to do to complete the next phase in the Willow task that we have to do, which is going to grant you the Master Ball altogether. So we're they're gonna make people go out, and I said it and I'll say it again, it's funny because they're probably gonna look at their statistics and say, see, everybody's raiding, see, everybody got out and raided, we're looking fine, in-person raids are up, everybody. Get out of here, get out of here with that, come on, we know what's going on here. But there you have the counters for Shadow Mewtwo raid. So again, I don't think it's going to be able to be soloed. I know there's probably going to be somebody out there who gets foggy weather or possibly gets enough of these purified shards to potentially lower its attack to the point where it's just going to be able to get ran over fairly easy. So keep that in mind. Again, take that with a grain of salt. We do not know how they're going to implement the attack and defense drop with these shards. Okay, so let's just have our fingers crossed that it works out nicely and that it will potentially grant some people, not some, anybody who collects these, the power to actually solo it. So there you have it. Because you got to keep in mind, Shadow Mewtwo is a lot frailer than its, normal form, but it's hitting as hard as heck as well. But if it's got Psychic, and you're using dark types, it's resisted pretty heavily, right? So you should be all right. Anyways, there you have it. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, turn notifications on. Got the fresh shirt on today. Oh man, it feels so good wearing fresh clothes with a fresh clean cut. What's better than a fresh haircut that you did yourself, It's a beautiful day out there, so hopefully you have a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.